Alright, 6T70. We have a complaint of transmission slipping. PO752, shift solenoid valve 3 stuck. PO877, transmission fluid pressure switch low. Go ahead and take our dipstick out. 10 millimeters on our pan. We have a stud here and a stud here. And depending on what year you have, is what bolts you're going to have on your valve body. Input speed sensor. Neutral switch. And output speed sensor. Alright. Earlier models were 10 millimeters all the way through here, and the later ones, some of these are 8 millimeters. Millimeters here. Early models have pressure switches here, and you can see how this one's blown out. This one's blown out. It's what they all do. Always replace these. These here are 10 millimeters. On the later ones, these right here will be 8s. And on the later one, you're going to have a seal that goes around this right here. And we'll talk about this valve body here in a little bit. Actually, let's go ahead and do it now. Pull my speed sensor out. 10 millimeter for it. I always put a zip kit from Sonax in these. And then on the back here, depending on what one you have, the early models have 3 accumulators that are in here. The lates have 6, but right in here, I don't even pull them out and look at them anymore. I just buy the kit and I ream them out and fix them. Right here, there's accumulators. The early ones are not as bad. And where's the other 2? Here's another one right here. And if you look in there, and it's not always on this side, sometimes it's on the opposite side. Let's go ahead and pull that off and look at it. Those accumulators get worn out and they'll cause you shifting issues. So like I said, I don't even look at them anymore, I just replace them. You have two plastic hold downs on this right here. Just cut them off, push them through. You're going to get new ones in the kit. You actually don't even have to have them. It just keeps the plate from falling off when you're putting it together. It's not a have to have. Alright, separator plate comes off. You have springs on each one. And let's see if we can find one that's really worn out. That one looks pretty good. You can stick them in here, but see how that's wobbling? That one's not super bad, but they do get really bad. Sometimes you can even see it. And that one's about the same. Like I said, the early ones are not as bad about wear. That one doesn't look that bad either. That one's much tighter. That one's fairly tight. This one's a little loose. Anyway, they will get replaced. There is a seal up inside of here. Alright, 13 millimeters on the case half. Now you can take this case half off now if you want to. I leave it on and I take it all out from the back. These are very awkward units. Turn on to turret my speed sensors. And 10 millimeters on the back cover, 13 millimeter on the speed sensor if you want to take it out. I just leave it in for right now. Alright, our back cover will come off. Careful with your speed sensor. If you want to replace the speed sensors, now's the time to do it, because you got to pull the valve body off and this back cover off to get to this one, and obviously to get to that one. And here, this little cutout right here needs to line up with this notch. You just leave this in there for right now. Make sure that your ring lands are not all screwed up, but normally they're not. I have a bearing here. One of the highest failure points in this unit is this cushion plate right here. Even if it's not broken, replace it. And we'll talk about this drum in a little bit. Bearing, sun shell. Make sure we're not all eat up right here with our clutch teeth. Usually on all these later trannies, the bushings are bad. I always put a bushing kit in them. Check all your cushion plates and make sure that they're not cracked. Usually all this is in really good shape. If it's not, all of it's bad. And there's bearing in here, make sure it's okay. I've never seen one that was bad. Bearing there. The ID mark on our sun gear is facing up. Make sure our planets, our pinions are okay, not wobbling back and forth. They feel good. They look good. Like I said, most of them are always in really good shape. Okay. Another cushion plate here. Alright, the opening of our snap ring, the little leg faces right here. You can mark it if you want to. The other one is right here. It's flat. Let's get this out of here. And I'll show it to you. It's got a little leg on it. Mark your sprag. It just makes it quicker when you go back in. It only lines up one way. Make sure it's turning one direction, locking the other. Make sure it's not cracked back here. I've seen a fair amount of these cracked. Actually, I don't wash that. Wash that by hand. Make sure our sun shell is good again. Alright, we have another cushion plate here. Our snap ring opening is down here at the 630. They don't normally do that. Our bevel plate and our piston. Go ahead and pull our gasket off. Our case half will come up. We have a seal in the back of the case here. I have seen a fair amount of these. I've seen a fair amount of these that this bearing that goes in the front right here is pitted. And our tube, transfer gear, usually all this is in really good shape. Our diff. This one's okay. 10mm on our oil baffle. 10mm on our pipe. take this pump apart if you want to. I've never seen one bad. I just check it, make sure it's pumping good. GM does not give you any specs as far as torquing this down. They don't want you even taking it apart. Alright, you got a bearing here, bearing here. On your super early units, there's another 13mm bolt right here. I think it's somewhere 09, 010, somewhere in there. They eliminated this bolt, but the hole was still there, and the threads were still there, but the bolt was not. Then they got rid of the hole, but the threads were still there. Then they got rid of the whole thing. .13s here. Here again, I've never seen one of these bearings bad. You just roll it around and make sure it's okay. There's a seal here, and there's a washer back here. There's a sealing ring right here. The dark side of your drive gear goes up. There's a dot right here on this gear, it goes up, and there's a washer on each side. Alright, case is totally empty. Now we'll talk about this drum. It's 3/5 reverse, 4/5/6. Take our snap ring out, our hub will come out. Another bearing here. Now to get this snap ring out of here, you got to compress this down. I use the adaptive case press. It works really well for these drums. When you press this down, you have to be careful you don't break this tab off or break the drum. So just go down just enough to get the snap ring out of here. Okay, here's your snap ring for a 4/5/6 drum. Our balance piston. Return spring. Get the piston out here in a minute. Pull the piston off the back here. Okay, make sure that you didn't break that off. If you did, you're going to want to replace it. Make sure you didn't crack this out right here. If you did, you're going to want to replace your drum. Our return spring. Now we get our snap ring out the front. And usually your problem is right here, like I was saying. So make sure that you replace this no matter what. Make sure your steels are okay. Yeah. Get our piston out. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright. So, let me write this one up, and I'll be back. Okay, so we're going to do an LS kit with pistons. It's a kit with clutches and pistons, filter, bushing kit, zip kit. The accumulators from Sonax are 124740-40K. the 3.5 reverse cushion plate. Sonax also makes a kit that you can eliminate that cushion plate, and you can do that if you want to. I really don't find the need to, but it is an option to do. You never have to worry about it again, but I've never had one come back with the cushion plate broke again. It's going to last you way past your warranty. Torque converter, and then you might want to think about replacing that bearing in the race. It seems to be more common in the later ones than in the early ones. So this one still looks really good, so I'm not going to worry about it. But it is something you might want to think about. Alright, think we'll be back for the rebuild on this. I don't think I have a rebuild video. I think all I have is valve body videos. So we'll be back.